Great day to all of you. Today we're here to talk about your money. Do you have enough money? And if you have, what are you doing with that money? You see, most of us don't have money. And those that have money, for some reason or another, don't invest the time to find out how to properly invest that money. They don't invest the time to find out how to properly invest that money. What do I mean? It's easy. We all need to know how to make money, and we need to know how to make it work for us. If you know the answers to these two questions, chances are that you're better off. But if you don't know the answer to these questions, that's why we're here today. We're here to help you out. First of all, what is your situation with money? Are you accumulating debt? Or do you have revolving debt? Accumulating debt means month after month, you're taking out from your credit cards. You are not paying your loans. You are procrastinating on taking care of those debts that you've taken out. Are you paying your loans? Or do you have your debt under control? Or does your debt have you under control? Because reality is, most of us, we are under control. And it's a control that has been implanted in us. And you might ask yourself, how in the world could this control be implanted in us? Well, if you look at the movie The Matrix, you'll find out that Neo is presented with an option to make by Morpheus at the beginning. And the option that he is given is to either take the red pill, which will lead him to know the truth about the life he lives in, or take the blue pill and go back to his ways, how the majority live their way, not wanting to know the truth and just living comfortably with whatever cards have been dealt with them. It's the same thing with accumulating debt, revolving debt, making income, investing. It's all the same thing. Another question is, do you own your house? Or do you rent an apartment or a house? Doesn't matter either way. But what matters is, are you making the proper investment for you and for your family? Are you living the life that you desire? Are you making enough money that will see you through in life once you're 65? Are you properly putting it into an investment worth your while? You see, most of us don't even bother with answering these questions. Why? Because we only think in now. We don't think about the future. When most of us don't know what to think about. When most of us do not plan. It's funny, those of us who don't plan, who don't have a plan, happen to be the ones who fail in life. Is it correctable? Of course it is. At any step of the game, it's correctable. It's workable with. However, the earlier you start, the better off you will be. Are you making an investment in your future? Are you making an investment for your kids, for your wife, for your parents? These are questions we need to answer in order to be able to help you out with finances. These are questions that only you know, depending on your situation, depending on your lifestyle. You know, I've been educating myself to learn about finances because I didn't know everything. I didn't know about investing. I thought that the bank was the best way to invest, or a 401k or an IRA, as some people like to call it, but they're the same. Do you have a 401k? Do you have an IRA? And if you do you know the legalities behind having one of these? You know, in life, it cost me not to invest. Investments where money would work for me. I've made investments, but not the type of investments that most people would make. I didn't invest in my family. I did not invest in myself. But I did invest other ways. And now I'm here because I've learned from my mistakes. And I'd like you to get ahead as well. You see, I've developed a few tools that can help people. No, I don't consider myself a leader, but I do lead, and I show people the way. I consider myself a teacher. I've always been a teacher since I started teaching over 20 years ago. Middle school kids. That was a wonderful experience. But at that point in time, it was not fulfilling, and I didn't know how to make it work. So what did I tell myself? Someday I'll go back to teaching, but right now I cannot afford it. And I had that short way of thinking. Of course I could have afforded it, and of course I could have kept teaching. But I didn't know how to do it, and I didn't have the time to invest in researching that. So, what do I recommend for you? Don't you ever dream about taking vacations? With your wife? With your kids? At one point, I was unable to afford it. I was unable to take vacations. I remember wanting to take my kids on vacation. But I didn't have a plan. I remember wanting to buy a house. But I didn't meet the requirements. How did I get through? I rented. I rent. I found a great deal. And although I do not see my investment in a rental, I am getting my money's worth on the rental. After all, location, location, location. I live in the center of one of the biggest cities in the world. But, however, I never stopped dreaming of one day owning a house or two. As a matter of fact, that is on my list of to-do things. And that's why finances are so important. Because there are things that we need to take care of in order to fulfill our destinies. I haven't given up yet. And I hope you haven't given up yet. Don't you still have a vision of owning a house? Of taking a family vacation to somewhere other than where your family's from? Don't you have plans to achieve goals? if you don't have plans, what are you waiting for? Come on. We have a limited amount of time in this world. And if you don't start planning your future, guess what? Before you know it, weeks will go by, months will go by, years will go by. And you're going to be asking yourself, what is happening? Why haven't I done any of my dreams? It's not simply about working more hours. Or is it? If I answered that question, would you listen? Would you have time? Because out of all of the people who I lead, the first excuse they give, the first idiotic and most stupid excuse that you can ever hear from a person is that they have no time. Can you believe that? No time to freaking change their lives around, to invest in their families. Not only to invest in their families, but how about investing in yourself? The reality is that we do have time. And for those idiots who say they don't have time, then they're not willing to invest in themselves, in their families. The second excuse is, I don't have money. That's also a stupid excuse, because you know darn well that if you wanted to go out to a restaurant, you'd find the money. That if you knew that there was an opportunity to buy a car for half the price, you'll find a way. Wouldn't you? I know I would. I'm not stupid. Stupid is as stupid does, right? Well, if you don't have time, you might as well be dead. And if you don't have money, then you've got to think of a better way to be resourceful. And that's part of what I do. I lead people to have a more resourceful life. Wouldn't you be interested? I have plans, and I'm knocking them off one by one. Is it perfect? No. But these are plans that I'm making them happen. And if they don't happen, I don't have to blame anyone else, nor time nor money. I blame myself. So guess what? Those excuses of no time and no money should be left for the stupid people, not for yourself. I consider you smart, outgoing, intellectual, readily available to learn, to excel in life. I have managed to cut the use of credit cards. At one point, I think I owed 6 credit cards. Just like the average person is in debt with more than 2 credit cards. I've cut it down to 1. How did I do it? I know that some of the questions that I've asked here I haven't answered. Why haven't I answered them? Because I want to leave you hungry for more. I don't want to give you everything today. I want you to come back and learn and help others just as I am leading you. Wouldn't you be interested in learning and in helping others? I know I am. For tonight, I want to thank you for listening to me, taking these few moments. And in the next few episodes, I will teach you some of these goals, how to achieve them. Take care. Thank you.